everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, March 5th. We just passed the 3-3 portal, and Terry and I are here with Miss Patricia Whyte. And I'm really excited to meet her. And when you hear her voice, it's going to make you guys melt. I just love it. And so, Patricia is a common friend of mine. We have a common friend who introduced us, and I'm so grateful that she did. I'm really excited to get to know Patricia and make her a good friend in the future. I'm looking forward to working with you. And Patricia is an abundance manifester. So I'm all about abundance so that we can help everyone else catch up and have the life that they deserve. Really just helping people to focus on their birthrights. Not that we are being greedy, but it's our birthright to actually have a good existence on this planet. She is a Feng Shui and dowsing, as well as a Tai Chi expert. She does counseling and coaching in these areas. And today we're going to get into this new year, this Chinese New Year. It is the year of the snake, right? And we left behind the dragon. We're going to get into some feng shui, which I love because I started learning about that with the vision boards. But Patricia, is anything you would like to say about yourself as we introduce you here?
Well, first off, I want to thank you so much for such a lovely intro. I just adore our mutual friend, and I know that birds of a feather flock together. So I know you are just as awesome as our friend.
She's
yes, and meeting Terri for the first time right now, and I know she's going to also be a good friend too.
Yes.
Yes, and thank you for the intro. That was beautiful. Yes, I have been in the Asian arts for probably around, 15 years, but the energy work I've been in for about 20 something years. And it's been an amazing journey. I don't know that I came to it happily. I came to it kind of, as most of us do, in pain. And
I was curious about that, how you even were attracted to it, because there's a lot of beauty in it as we observe it, but it's not necessarily something that Americans, Southerns, Baptists, or religious people, I don't know, were you religious at all beforehand? Did that bring any conflict during that? Just love to hear that story about how you got connected.
Yes. So, a long time ago when I first came into the information of energy, it was when I was was going down this journey of homeopathy, and I actually have a degree, was getting a doctorate in that. So, that along that time period, I am in the South, and I grew up here in the South, and I grew up in a Lutheran church. And, I went to church every Sunday. I was in Sunday school. I know the Bible very well. I'm sure I could know it better. But that is, I feel as though I am a walking Bible because I've learned so much of it. And it is an important book. It's not just a book. It's a document that has not only our history, but it also has, insights of light within that document. It's, when you open it and read it, you or I still get insights of light in it. And I do believe that it is a very powerful book. Even though men made it, it was inspired by God, I believe. So, that kind of uh, is has been with me and still is to on my journey of all of the places that I have been. Matter of fact, I feel as though God led me to all of the places that I have been, both the challenges and the solutions. Because, my view is the challenge that is within us, whether it be health, relationship, or whatever that is, comes from within us, and the answers to those challenges also come from within us. So if we tap inside of us and listen and meditate and hear that, well, what I feel is God speaking to me, I know I have been taken to all these different places around the world to be with so many incredible masters to learn what I have learned. And I've been in some pretty interesting, maybe dark would be a good place to add that one word, places. So, and I'm so honored and grateful to have been given a life jacket, a life preserver to find my way through to where I am today. So tell me, it kind of opened the door, and then I was in Australia living and had a very difficult challenges with my marriage, and I then found Tai Chi to help me with those challenges because I had a great deal of stress. And so that was a godsend. I don't know how I could have gotten through those years without Tai Chi. And so, um, you know, I, we both went in our different journeys. I went in one direction, and my former husband went in another, and I came back home. And I knew by me coming back home, I would be reevaluating everything from my life at home, but it needed to be done. So I bought a house, so I rooted myself here, and that was about when, Feng Shui came into my life during that time. It was introduced to me by my Qigong teacher, which I immediately found after moving here. And so my Feng Shui teacher, she was so amazing, but I didn't physically or online meet her until many, many years later, after I'd already been practicing Feng Shui. It was actually when I started working in dowsing, when I was finding the stress lines in my home to help me have a better life, actually, because the
So
stress lines,
finding the stress lines in your home with
yeah,
dowsing, what could be the purpose for different people to do that? Like, why? What is that? I have never even heard of that.
yeah. So I was dealing with a health challenge,
Mhm.
and a very serious health challenge that I never told my family. Don't tell anybody in my family, please. Or don't show this recording to anyone in my family, please. But I had a very serious health challenge, and I chose not to tell them because I knew that I not only had to deal with my own health challenge, I would have to deal with their ideas about it. So I chose not to. I created my own support team that agreed with my viewpoint. And this support team helped me to become completely well. And during that journey, I I felt like, well, I've done everything else. Let's try this. And my Feng Shui teacher actually is my dowsing was my dowsing teacher also. And so I then started finding the stress lines in my home. And, you know, I had a couple of negative vortexes in my home, which that in itself can cause so much stress. It's just amazing, and health challenges. And the funny thing is, when I finally had the opportunity that my mother let me check her home, she had as well 3 negative vortexes in her home. So I was able to fix all of them. And yeah, and that just is amazing because, first of all, it's not only a physical healing, it's an emotional, mental, it's a whole being healing that takes
Can that
place.
affect your abundance fountain as well, those vortexes?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Some
yeah, it can. You can do all the feng shui. This is what my teacher has shared with me over the years. You can have the best feng shui there is in your home. But if you have a negative vortex in your home, then you can just completely, you won't get there because you have a
wow.
negative vortex in your home. So if, someone is out there listening and they've maybe dabbled or is into feng shui and has feng shuied their house and they're still not getting where they want to get, um, you might want to find me, and because there could be a negative vortex or some negative line like a geopathic stress line coming into your home. If you're sleeping on a if you're sleeping on a geopathic stress line, it can cause health problems as well. Yeah.
Geopathic. I had to write that down because I know some people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how
So,
the energy, you can have the best of intentions and something could be blocking your willpower. Would you think that that's also something it can affect, right? Your
that's
willpower,
right.
and you're like, why am I struggling to
Yeah. Yeah.
make
It
changes
can,
in my life? Yeah.
yeah, it can affect everything. If you, like, for example, I grew up in my bedroom, it had a large negative vortex in it. So that played a big part in my childhood and my development, which I can totally see how that took place, in my life, how it presented itself in my childhood. So, and where we grow up, we will go and find a house that has the same kind of energy until it is
Kind of like
properly.
removed from your field. Like once you remove it from your home and you move it from your field, now you're no longer attracted to that same energy. So
That's
we seem
exactly
to
right.
kind of gravitate towards that
Yeah,
because that's our comfort level at that point, right?
that's exactly right. Your body and your whole being is
Mm.
comfortable in that space. So whenever I do cure the stress lines that are in someone's home, they go through a detox.
Mm.
Yeah,
You mean they do a physical detox?
yeah, yeah,
That's a part of your prescription?
yeah. It
Wow.
just happens. Yeah,
So these are things you can do from, I mean, now we do so much online. Is this something you
yeah.
can do online or we got to fly you out? You got to get flued out.
No, no, I can do everything online. Yeah. Well, I can teach Tai Chi online, but currently I'm not doing that in the location that I'm at right now, but I have taught it online. But everything else I do online around the world, and I have for the last 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
But
Amazing,
you had
isn't
a
it?
question for you.
That's yeah. So I have actually a couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
So first of all, when you were just getting into the whole Tai Chi and Qigong, and you said you came from a Lutheran background and how did you find being exposed to the Taoist ideals? How did that Were you able to integrate it with your belief system, or were you like challenged with it? And then the other question I have, I'm going to do it in two parts, is so when you do work with people and they do have the detox, are you a practicing homeopath? Do you offer with people homeopathic medicines? I know about homeopathy. That's why I was just asking, because
Yes.
the homeopathy, of course, is going to help a lot with the whole
Yes.
energy system. So I
Yes.
don't know whether you are practicing homeopath as well. So there you go. So I'm leaving you that whole plate. So answer
Yes.
how you want to.
Thank you so much, Terri. That is a wonderful question. And so I'm going to try to remember both. So the integration of all of the knowledge that I was or have taken in, how did I integrate that? So I personally didn't have any problems with integrating it within me, because it was like the experience of walking it. You know, I know what the truth is, and I know what the experience was that I was walking this journey. So, it's like the two kind of went together, you know? It didn't cause me challenges. Now, along the way, it has caused some challenges with close family members, but when I spoke with them individually and explained, where it was that I am, and how how it relates to me personally in the changes that I was going through. I feel as though, well, it's been a couple of years. I feel as though everyone has embraced it quite nicely and lovely, and they accept me for where I am. Now, of course, my I don't want to call any of my family members out, but it probably is known within my family that I'm special because that word has been used long before I was in, homeopathy. Suzanne, my first name is Suzanne Patricia Whyte, and they would say Suzanne is special. She's special. So I received that and completely embraced that, because I am special. And I think everyone has the same abilities that I have. It's just that, or maybe a few of us, like probably most everyone listening to this, probably has those special abilities. We've embraced them, where the people who don't quite see that they have that, they just haven't embraced it within them. But we all have that specialness within us. So, so the second part of the question about, so I would like to say that I use homeopathy on myself. I use homeopathy with very close family members, but I have kind of stepped away from the homeopathic journey, mostly because of I felt as though that wasn't, after I got into a very, nice level of that, I realized that the information was important. The process I went through to gain the information was important, but the end result wasn't necessarily that I used that to help other people in that was my growth journey, and it was important for me to let go of that, to embrace other ways. And at the time, I didn't know what that was. I just knew that it was not that, it was something else. But the minute that I found Feng Shui and dowsing and Tai Chi, I knew that is it. That's it. Yeah. Great question.
This this might be, maybe it's obvious for people, maybe it's not, but why do you feel um the practices of Asian medicine and art, the way of living is rejected by us? Like I don't I don't understand
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
It's interesting because a lot of people don't really know, like, this is before Christianity, these things existed. So I mean, and
that's
some people might not know too that Christ studied these things as well too, but it's like I don't really understand why we reject something. I never did understand it, like Deepak Chopra books and things like
mm,
that. My church used to say, "Don't read those books." Like they didn't even want you to read it.
wow,
But
yeah.
do you know why the resistance?
Well, there. So I would like to also share, which this may be new information, but most of what I like, for example, Tai Chi, maybe not so much, but Qigong, which I'm certified in Qigong as well. Um, Qigong and Feng Shui are about 6,000 years old. I mean, that's really old. There's documents that, show that that has been around for 6,000 years. And Tai Chi might be about 4,000 years. But, you know, the East, in the last 2 years, the information from the East has come forward to the West a lot more, especially last year. Everyone here was a little bit more receptive of the healing practices of the East. Because when you are, I'm sure a number of your viewers and us, the three of us, when you're in a place that you're in a great deal of pain and you're looking at or looking down the eyes of I guess the word would be fear of death, you will almost do anything. you know you open your heart a lot faster. Gosh, I want to cry when I say that. You open your heart a lot faster when you get into those moments where you look at fear in that way, because you you know that there's no fear at that moment, and you know that what's given to you is the answer. And you know um, so I've been in those places, and it's not an easy place to be. And but I feel as though the more of us that, because during the pandemic, a lot of us were in that place. And I think that that door that opened allowed some of that information to come in. Now, the resistance might be because the East is so unknown and mysterious to Westerners, and it is uncomfortable because it's mysterious and unknown. So that might be one of the reasons why it hasn't flowed into the Western culture as much. I mean, if you go back and look at that really gorgeous kung fu gentleman, the one that was about water, and I have his book.
Oh,
Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
You see, when Bruce Lee came from the East, what difficulties he had. It wasn't just with him being here in the West, but it was also his lineage of being in the East. It was very difficult for him because the East didn't want him here. They wanted him to be there and not sharing what he
Sharing, yeah.
knew. Yeah.
They're
So,
pretty tight on their textbooks, right? Like, there's certain
yeah.
things that you're not going to be able to just get on Amazon.
That's
But
right.
but
So
even saying
I,
that, I
I,
wanted to ask, like, had you learned anything about, like, how the Asiatic countries affected Egypt? Because it actually, I'm wondering. I don't know specifics, but the institute that the Oriental Institute of Archaeology was, something I saw when I was in Egypt. And man, if you want to see who's really going to Egypt, I think the population of Asiatic countries really focuses on going.
Yeah. I do not know information on that subject,
Their
Erika,
influence
but wow, that's really amazing, isn't it?
is some powerful influence and some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. So, great
So I don't know if
questions.
you
Thank
wanted to get more into that or get into, we gave you a good background of why you know the things you know and why you're able to speak on it. But
you. Mm,
we were
yes.
going to get into
So,
this new year, this Chinese New Year's very powerful year, and why it's so powerful.
yes. Yes. So, this is the year of the wooden snake. And just to help everyone who maybe is listening that doesn't know anything about the animals in Feng Shui, and I am very soft, as you can tell, and my perception of most things are soft. And so my view of the animals are slightly different as well within Feng Shui. And I think it has a lot to do with, of course, me being soft, but also because I grew up in to uh, a farming family. And so both my mom and my dad come from lineages of farming. So it is steeped within my blood, I guess you could say, farming. I can grow things quite well. I have a green thumb when I try. Uh, but farmers have animals. I had shared this on an Instagram share yesterday because it, for me, is very personal because I grew up on a farm. We had every animal almost except for dragons and what was the other thing that let me have a look here. Monkeys. We didn't have a monkey on the property. we had all we had all the other animals, and I was responsible for a couple of them. So, I have a personal relationship with animals, these animals, and there are 12 animals in the Chinese Feng Shui. They call it Zodiac. But that is a term that's used. It didn't become a zodiac at the beginning when this was developed. I believe, let's see, 4,000 years ago or so, 3,000 years ago. So it was, I believe it developed first as just the animals and recognizing their relationship with their farmers. And, as our time continues to go in this direction of, I'll just say, enlightenment, I believe it is a personal relationship. It is a call for us to have a personal relationship with ourselves and with the people who are in our lives, but also our animals. And our animals, I feel, just as it was 6,000 years ago, was an important part of life. And the animals played just as an important part of Earth as did us as humans. So when I look at the animals in Feng Shui, I see them a little bit differently. So my perception is a little bit different. But I also have, trained in this and helped people for numbers of years with their with the view of animals. So I have a little bit of information that I can share with you. And so
Can I ask you a question?
yeah,
And now this is a real personal one, so if you don't want to answer it, it's okay. But
Yeah.
what animal are you?
Oh, I don't mind sharing, and I will tell you that a lot of people in the Asian countries are very shy about telling their animal.
I know. That's why I'm asking if it's
Yes,
okay to
yes,
ask.
I don't mind. I don't mind because my animal is very special to me, and I've had a lot of transformation around my animal. But mine is a horse.
Oh, okay. I'm a horse as well. That's why.
There you go.
Yeah.
I That's lovely. We get along well, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, yeah.
And I know,
Erica,
and Erica is one of is I think Erica can tell us, but she gets along well with horses.
that's right. She gets along very well with horses. I don't
Because I'm
know
a
if Erica
tiger,
wants.
right? I'm a tiger.
Yeah,
So
that's right. You're a tiger, and tigers and horses get along with each other very
I
well.
always felt pretty cool about that, like really proud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why is it that they want to keep that private?
Well, because they know the animals very well in the Asian countries,
Who wants to be
and
read,
they
right?
know yeah, they know when you say, or like if I were to tell someone I'm a horse, they know all about me. I don't have to
Mm.
say it. I don't have to open my mouth. They know all about me. Yeah.
You know what I wondered about that when we put, how we get our birth certificate? It's like here, everything is printed on a piece of paper and handed over and statistically counted that they know everything about us, like our, destiny number and everything based on they know that. But it's so funny when we're born, we'll go home from the hospital and people won't know what their kids' blood type is, or they never remember. Most parents don't remember the time of birth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
things are so
Yeah.
important.
What's really interesting is as I'm not a teacher, but I've had friends that are teachers, and one of the things they say is, like from one year to another, you've got a totally different class, and that's because of the animals that the kids embody.
True.
That's right.
They don't, like you might get a class that are just so rambunctious. So okay, so these ones must be dragons, and then you get the other
Isn't that
ones that are just
crazy?
are kind of like they must be
You got a
rabbits.
herd of dragons in your class. That's crazy.
Imagine having a whole classroom of dragons. Oh my gosh, it must drive
That is
the teachers just
interesting.
like
Yes,
Interesting.
that would be an interesting. So let's see, that would be in 7 years. God bless all the teachers in the next 7 years. Yeah. I actually have a great nephew who was born the year of the dragon, and I look forward to his development. But he's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So so the year of the snake, wood snake. So let me just back up. There are 12 animals, and then there are five elements. And if you take the 12 animals and the five elements and you multiply them together, that gives you 60. So you get the choice of
oh,
one every 60 years. So it's a 60-year cycle. Yep. So the year of the wooden snake is in 2025. And the last time we had the year of the wooden snake would have been 60 years ago, which would be 1965. Okay. So the way that I look at it is the, and this is true for, I believe, each of the animals when they come to their 60-year mark, people being that animal. So what I'm about to say is general for all of us in our world. as well as the snakes that were born in 1965 that would have a birthday this year. Whatever they have, or whatever we as a global conscious community did not address properly in 1965, we will get to look at it and have another opportunity to do the right thing in this year.
Mm,
I
a
know.
do-over in
You
60
get
years.
it. Yep. And every 60-year mark going back, um, if when that 60-year mark comes forward and you don't, as a global community, address whatever that was, then the next 60 years after, you get another opportunity until you take the opportunity and fix it. Now, I find that to be very interesting. That because that really, you can go anywhere and find information about the year of the snake and what the snake is for this year. But, I feel like, and I have that, we can go over that, but I feel like 1965, which I'm sure you guys are already Googling to see what happened in 1965, but there were a good number of riots that year.
Mm.
There was, yeah, there was. So fortunately, we were. Oh, someone says they're an ox, and you love horses. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Sandy. I love oxes. I have a couple of clients that are oxes. They're beautiful.
Hey,
Um,
Jeremy, I got your name on the screen, Jeremy.
oh yes, there's Jeremy. Oh, and he had a red heart. That's lovely. So Martin Luther King was such an important person in 1965. He led some, we'll say, demonstrations, and as a result, so many things transformed in 1965 because of his efforts. And so, because of that, we may not have so much of the um, challenges of riots in that regard, but I do believe that there could be some riots of some sort, and it could have some to do with racial challenges, but it also could be Native American challenges. Because if I go back to 1785, that's when the divide started happening with America and the Native Americans.
Mm.
So, I have dear friends that are Native Americans, and yeah, I do feel that we could do a better job to help them. So that's kind of what I see for that area. But space travel, very important. It's going to happen this year. It happened in 1965. It was very important then. I feel like it will be important this 2025. Um, tech, everything technology. The world's first computer was used that year, and that's amazing. That was 19. That's only been 60 years, and look where we are today. Our phones are miniature computers. Probably everything that was in a big, huge building is in our phone right now. So that has come a long way, but there will be technical things that will come up this year, I feel. The war on poverty, the Social Security Act was created that year. So there'll be something about the war on poverty this year, because I don't think we have that sorted very well.
So the threats of the Doge doling out some money for us is possible then.
Yeah, because if, I don't know what the statistics are for the American people being in poverty, but that would probably help a lot if the percentage of people in America were at a certain rate of poverty. So, the Department of Housing and Urban Development began that year. And so there'll be something to do with HUD this year. Um, Fidel Castro allowed the first immigrants to come to America that year. So there'll be something about immigration, and it could be Cuba. It could be Cuba. But so, these are just ideas that I know because of the 60-year cycle will probably come up. Hydrogen gas balloons were important in 1785, so I feel like hydrogen is going to be an important thing this year. Yeah. It may not be balloons, but it could be a plane. Could be a plane.
I have to. Can I just interject? I'm just drinking hydrogen water.
There you go.
The benefits of hydrogen water and the benefits of hydrogen on the body, and so that's really interesting that you said that. So I just sorry to interrupt you, but kind of interesting.
Yeah. I think there'll be a whole thing around hydrogen. It will be probably I feel as though it could be, how we can use it to propel ourselves in different places, but it could be, how to get more oxygen into our bodies, like, yeah. Let's see. The US dollar in 1785 was chosen to be the country's money, the first nation to adopt the decimal currency. So there'll be something about money. It just will be a lot about money, I think. And and Native Americans are all kind of, mixed into 1785, American Revolution. This was the first year, 1785 was the first year that America was truly America without any strings attached to England. So these will be the things I feel that will be important for this year.
I saw something. It doesn't contradict anything what you said. It goes right along with what you said. It said that Silicon Valley was first 1965. Was the birth of Silicon Valley. So as people stress out about AI, it seems only appropriate, right? That's
right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the West is seen to be where technology lies, and the West this year is very favorable. So that means it has good vibes going on in the West this year. So and money, currency is also in the West. So it will also it will be for the good of everything, because it's good energy that's there in the West this year. So
I guess during those cycles, we always appear as a leader. That's the year that those years maybe we appear as the leaders of the free world at that time. Even though people are not feeling that right now, it's like we say, it's a 50-50, right? Some people are living in the most positive times of their lives, and some people are seeing this as the most negative times and the most times of fear. Personally, I'm focused on my timeline and making it the best timeline.
Yeah.
I want all the people that want to be on the good timeline. Like, if you want to be on a positive timeline, then let's hold hands. All right.
Right. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny
It
how
has.
right now it seems like the whatever illusion or mirage, it's funny how everything is an illusion or a mirage until it's the one you don't, a way that you don't like it. When you don't like it, people forget, like, wait a minute, I thought we were living in an illusion. I thought we were in the matrix. And then all of a sudden, right now, the whole idea of this being a matrix is really not fixating on people. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of like, because they don't like the way it looks right now, they're forgetting, like, wait a minute, remember, you're actually in control of your destiny. You're in the
Yeah.
matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing that you were going to approach today was basically change, which is
Yeah.
looking at it the way we want and creating it the way we want it.
Yes, so change is inevitable this year because that's one of the aspects of the snake. The snake has about, well, yes, change. Because of the snake, if you think about a snake, for those who have been around snakes, the animal snake, and you know, the attributes that a snake in the wild has is going to be very similar to the aspects of our life for this year. So the snake, he moves in a movement like, that's my puppy dog. Sorry. He
It's
moves
okay.
in a he moves in a back and forth kind of movement. And when and snakes can move very fast. They have a switchback, kind of like going up a mountain. And so 1 minute we're over here, and then the next minute we're over there. So it's like it's hard to get a stance because everything is going from one side to the other side. It's like it reevaluates where it was before it comes over, and it comes over to this side. But the head is probably very where part of the power is, and the tail is where part of the power is. So as that snake is coming in, it's going to be more powerful in the first couple of months. When the snake goes through the rest of the year, as it leaves, the last 3 months are going to be probably one of the most powerful as well. So that's why it feels like a lot of fast movement in February. March is probably going to also feel a bit of that fastness. And I guess I should go back and say that the snake is seen as a yin fire. So thankfully, it's not yang fire. It's a yin fire. So that means it's going to be a softer fire than it would be if it were yang.
So that
So
means
it
the
would.
feminine fired, not
That's
the
right.
masculine, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So the people who the feminine fire is affecting or motivating or connecting with the greatest is going to have a greater amount of change, I feel, than those who are not representing in that feminine, or maybe those who have already gotten to the other side. I don't think I've gotten to the other side because, man, February was fast and furious for me. I was on fire. No kidding. January. So the way the energy comes in, it kind of trickles in, even though we have the date of January 28th when it actually hit. It actually comes in a little bit at a time before that, a couple months before. So you may have been feeling it in December even, and even January. But it, hit January 28th. And so as that snake came in, it came in through the southeast. So the southeast is all about it's all about luxury. It's all about wealth. It's all about abundance. So, it would be kind of shaking up or increasing or doing something in those fields. It also, the southeast represents colds and flus, so that's maybe why some people had challenges with upper respiratory. I know a number of, you know, I was told, I don't hang out at hospitals, but I was told that there were a lot of people at the hospital in January and February, because they were dealing with upper respiratory challenges. Yeah. So, so yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of movement with the snake. Now, I have my own kind of system that I've created, and you can find the circle of the animals anywhere online, but this is my circle that I've created. And so the snake, who is right here, the snake energy comes in where that snake is. I'm going to try to do this without looking at it. It comes in. So this month that we're in right now, the snake is coming to the center, and it's moving around the center. Now, the center represents everyone. It represents our hearts. So it's really working on our hearts, the way that I see it. Our health, our heart. And, the best way to deal with this circular center movement is by grounding yourselves. Do a lot of grounding. Now, grounding can be many different things. Grounding can be focusing on your physical well-being, like, the simple things of eating properly, eating good quality food, sleeping well, getting getting enough sleep that supports you, getting exercise, maybe exercising outside, getting good water, and getting the amount that's important for you, and going outside and doing, standing in the dirt with your feet. But also, grounding is also your emotional and mental support too. It is meditating. Maybe find a practice of meditating if you don't currently. Making sure you're in groups of people that are healthy for you. This is very important, because if you're putting yourself with people who are not like Erika and Terri and myself, who we are all holding hands in this lovely journey of happiness and positive ideas of positive change. You're in a relationship with any people that are not like this, and it causes you any disturbances or any challenges, just look at that and evaluate where you are. Having ourselves to be connected with healthy people, not only physically but emotionally and mentally, is very, very important this year. So that's kind of, that center motion that the snake is coming into is really all about what I just shared there. And, each month it goes into a different area. So after it leaves the center, it's going to go down here, and it's going to connect with the dog and the pig. So all of the dogs and the pigs. And if you don't know what your animal is, you're welcome to find me on any social platform that, like Instagram or Facebook, Patricia Whyte Feng Shui. And I'll be glad to share with you what your animal is. You can email me if you go through my website. You can find me that way. But the pig and the dog are gonna, this would be April. Yes, this would be April, is going to feel that energy of the snake. And so that energy is more of a male, that's going to be more masculine energy. So it's going to be opening up the masculine energy that is in our world, but is also for the dog and the pig person. It might be a time that you'll travel, because that area is also, these two guys are about travel. Traveling this year is very important in general anyway. If you can get out and travel, it's a good time to do it. Movement, because snakes move. They don't sit still very much. When it's cold, they might sit still, they hibernate. But when the sun is out, they're out moving, or they're getting sun rays, but they're moving. They're a physical animal. And yeah. So if you are prone to any headaches or migraines, that month of April might be a good time to really look into it. Find some new, because it's all about new things, new opportunities, and learning something new. So, finding something new to help you with your migraine or your headache. How am I doing, you guys? Am I doing okay? Should I keep on going? Yep. Okay. So from the dog and the pig, then it's going to come up here to the rooster. And the rooster is, representing our lungs, our breathing. So maybe really focusing, especially if you have any breathing challenges, really focus. And the roosters, if there are any roosters out there that have these, breathing or any challenges, really, that snake is going to get in there and it's going to be opening up whatever that is, and exposing it for you to have a look at. Relationships are important for the rooster. The rooster is a very relationship-oriented animal, as well as fitness. So working out and getting physical. So after the rooster, it's going to go over to the ox and the tiger. This would be Erika, and that would be June. So June, the ox and the tiger are going to be infused even more with the snake energy. So it's going to, it could look like really reaching out and learning something new. It could be, finding new ideas for our health, maybe a new alternative. To help us with our knowledge and our wisdom. So, and once it leaves this area, this is a real big wisdom area, we're going to go over to the horse. So the horses out here will be July. And the horses how it's going to help them, it's going to open up all the horses' hearts, of course. The horses have big hearts. But music and dance is going to be real important for the horse. But spirituality is also very important for the horse. So that's when the snake kind of goes around and opens up spirituality. Oh, there's Andy. Andy is a rat. Good on you. Let's see. Oh, guess what? We're going to the rat next, Andy. So from the horse, we go straight down to the rat. And the rat is where the snake comes in August. And it supports us with communication. It supports us in our careers because rats are very career oriented. See if I can get that there. Yeah. So anything that is, in this area of the rat, the snake is going to come in and really open that up. So the careers are going to be opened up. Communication is going to be opened up. And so now it's the snake goes up into September to the goat and the monkey, or sheep and monkey, up in this area. And this is mother energy and female energy. Female and mother energy. So up in this area. So maybe, if at that point in September, the feminine ideas that are out there, if they aren't addressed, it will be addressed at that point, probably in September. This is about nature and home, ideas about our home and nature. So, if there's any ideas about the HUD that was developed in 1785, was it?
Wow.
Yeah, I think that was 1785. So if there's any ideas with HUD, because these represent the home, and it's also the mother energy, feminine energy, and the snake is a feminine energy also. That's like 3 feminine things going on. Something's going to open up here. And that's in...
Is that going to be a positive thing? Because it's like, is it maybe going to be like a collective also thing with women where, people have been fussing about female rights, and I personally would interject
I don't know.
on this because what I noticed towards the end of last year, I normally can go in the store, we can make eye contact and just have random conversations with women. And I just noticed there was like a lot of tension amongst, no one was talking in the store. Everybody was like, I'm getting in here, the election's coming and people are looking funny. I don't know what, you couldn't guess what anyone was thinking or feeling. It just looked very tense. But I've noticed in this last couple of weeks, I've been having really good conversations with random women and just meeting women and being like, oh my God, this is so exciting. It was so tense, but I've noticed the energy loosened up with this last couple of weeks when it comes to talking to different females that are maybe not necessarily a part of your circle, but just from different, places like restaurants. And, I was at a meeting on Sunday and I was just like, oh my God, everybody's so nice. Like, this just seems like people relax. And so some people are breathing a little easier when it comes to the feminine energy right now.
Yeah, I think that some of the fire has dissipated a little bit.
Yeah.
It really has. the fire when, I felt it in December. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then like January was, phew, and even February. So it feels like it's slowly slowing down. That
Mm-hmm.
fire from the snake is getting a little bit
Mm-hmm.
gentler and a little bit gentler. I don't think
I'm
it's going to go
understand
out.
something else about this too, because I wish people knew more about this, because then you could kind of stand back in the energy and say, me, not me. Because people
Yeah.
think it's because of who the president is, or they think it's because this happened, and they kind of think it's because of the circumstances, but not really understanding what makes you stress or what makes you happy. It's not necessarily the circumstances, but the energy that is in the atmosphere at that time. So when you have this bouncing through you, you're not able to say, oh, let me take a step back. This is Mercury retrograde, so I need to be careful with my communication. This
Right.
is, this is a fire year. I need to wait a minute. Let me watch what I say. Don't get any arguments with people, because this really isn't even me. This is the energy that's around me. But here it is, however many 8 billion people just breathing really hard all
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I wish
It,
more
it,
people knew.
mm. So I want to say that even when you know it, it can, because whew, it's like, and, I do a lot of meditating and I do a lot of work, Tai Chi, all of it. I do it. I still feel that, ooh, you know. So even if everybody knew it, it would help a lot. But um, it's like, yeah, I don't know how to explain the last couple of months. It's been wild and crazy. It really has.
Mhm.
And I've, I am, grounding is my middle name, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so powerful, everyone who's listening. Grounding, whether you're grounding in meditation, whether you're grounding outside, it's very, very powerful. And animals help us to ground, which I said in my Instagram post yesterday. When we're around them, when we touch them, when we play with them, they ground us. Lily, my dog, who's right over there, you can hear her, I think, a lot. She knows. She knows when I need to be grounded. She walks over and she goes, "Hey, you need to touch me. You need to touch me. You need to touch me. You need to grounding." Yeah, so I think cats do the same thing. They know when their person needs their attention, and they come over and go, "Hey, touch me." Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it is collective. It's for everyone because the snake is supporting all of us. But as it goes into the different areas, it's supporting that group even more, as well as collectively.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. So I think the next part, well, you're discussing the change. How do we master it and take control of the change?
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good question.
I
So,
guess when it comes to the house chart of the feng shui, you got the 9 squares with relationships, money, um, your career and finances and travel, helpful people, all the little boxes. I don't know if you wanted to get into all of that.
yeah, that's a lot.
It is a lot, but I
It
mean,
is
we
a
could
lot.
just choose the area that you want to
Yeah. Yeah.
pop the
So,
bubble on, so we can. But the rest, you got to come find her if you want more information. Yeah, we could.
so generally, that information also relates to this information I'm sharing with you
Ah,
here. Yeah. So generally, this is, and that would be the answer I could give to the other categories is generally, because we were not going to look at each person specifically, but yeah. So these areas are general that I'm giving, and they can help, you know, as I'm giving you the area, like the rat works in the career and communication in August, the home and nature for goat and monkey, and that being a very mother area. That's that area, the goat, sheep, monkey area. Yeah. And so then we go over to rabbit. Let's just finish with rabbit real quick. Rabbit is all about family, and that's in October. And so the emotions that our emotional well-being is what probably will be looked at in October. So the success areas are going to be the rat, because they are about career, and the snake and the dragon.
So it's kind of like whatever your animal is, depending on what year it is, it's gonna be like this is when you're hot. This is gonna be
Yes,
it's like this is gonna be your time as more like a multiplier because every year you're gonna have a month to deal with certain issues. But then when the snake reaches, when these certain animals reach a particular your animal's time of the year for dealing with this particular subject that it enhances, it'll be like a multiplier for you. Like this is going to be your breakthrough time because now the snake is in your house of the rat on in August. So the rat in August is going to be most affected by the snake. It'll be like your time to really have a breakthrough,
that's it.
right? It's going
That's
to be
it.
your breakthrough times. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
I had to do
So
some reading before I came because I was like, now I get it.
yes, yes, you got it. So that,
So
I mean, it's career is important for everyone, especially in that month of August, but
Hmm.
especially the rat. So what I would say about careers are, if you feel like you are at the end, a new opportunity will come. It could be August, but have hope. It Not all is lost. A new opportunity will come, and it will support you. And there'll
Right.
be a lot of change. There'll be a lot of changes in career this year.
This will be the wind in your sails. When you're feeling stuck, it'll be like that. So it actually is something to plan for if you really understand the chart and how the animals are moving through the chart. This will be the time when you're like, you know what? I'm not going to look for a new house until then. I'll do a little bit of looking, but maybe I won't purchase until then. I won't move until then, or I'll travel more during this time when it'll be when it's most supported, right? So
Yes,
I
yes,
really I want
yes.
people to
That's
do that. I like looking at the year ahead and thinking, this month, this is the month when I'll travel.
yes,
so
yes, yes.
um so when is it for what month is a snake going through the snake sign?
Good
Yes, the
answer.
snake. Yep, snake goes through the snake at the very beginning. That was in
Oh, in February.
February because of
Yeah.
wind. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it came in through the snake. It affects the snake and the dragon at the same time.
At the same time. Okay.
So it comes in, but we get another opportunity in November. After we leave the rabbit, we go in back into the snake and the dragon.
Mm,
And
Okay.
that's in November. So we get another chance to look at investments and finance and wealthy abundance, luxury, and again, be aware colds and flus could start during that time because the snake and dragon in that area kind of bring that up. Okay.
Nice.
And then we go back into the center in December. So whatever wasn't addressed with the heart and the center of everyone around the earth, we'll get to have another opportunity before the year is over.
Hopefully, we'll do a softening, another
Yeah,
softening, like an
I
even
hope
more intense softening
I
of the
hope so.
heart.
Yeah, yeah,
People will
yeah,
calm down and be
yeah.
able
These
to
are
be grateful during that time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope so too. And
Yeah.
then after we leave the center, we go back into the dog and the pig. They get another opportunity. And as you know, dogs love playing. So play during these times, January and April, will be very important. Dogs love to play, and pigs are about, you know, being true to yourself, being true to the community, being true to humanity, and recognizing that truth, what that is. Yeah. And then we go into the next year, which is the year of the horse, for all you guys who are horses.
It'll be time for you to giddy up. You got
Let me tell you, it's going to be giddy up next year because that's a fire horse.
Well, she probably missed a piece of it. Brandy, why the colds and flus are prominent during that time. It'll be what, November, and then it was in February.
Yes, it's February and in November.
Right.
I have many family members that were sicky pants. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, mine were too. I was caring for a couple of them. It's not fun, is it? Us who stay well, we have to take care of those who aren't.
So
And I tend to stay well. Yeah.
it's interesting that I know we're talking about next year, but the Chinese don't like, if you're a girl that's born in the year of the fire horse, they're not very happy with having a woman from that sign.
Oh, because she'll be a strong woman. She'll
That's
be
right.
too
Very
temperamental.
headstrong and very, yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
And
they don't
fire.
like that. And the fire, they're not happy with her.
Mm.
With
So
her
Isn't
that,
horse.
that interesting? So you can tell what month all the angry women are born.
oh no, I'm not an angry woman. Well, you see, the horse is a yang. Um, I can't think of what that word is. A yang, which is masculine, and it's
Fire.
also a fire. It's also a fire element. Next year is the fire horse. So we've got 3 different fires going on. Because you got the masculine, which is kind of fiery, and then you have the element. That's the word I was looking for. The element that the animal, the horse, is, which is fire, and then you have that it is a fire year. So that's a whole lot of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now snakes are very peaceful, actually. So, I see that the whole world is going to be at peace. It's just not going to feel like it is, but it's going to be at peace.
Mm.
Yeah, there won't be war in the year of the snake. Shouldn't be. So I feel like what's happening on over on the other side of the U.S. is going to dissipate at some point. Yeah, this year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I want to say that even though the snake is coming in and it's a snake year, it doesn't necessarily mean that the snakes have the most opportunity to create the best of the animals. Because I think that Erica was saying something close to this about the animal that comes in being, the lead animal. It is a lead animal, but it
Well,
doesn't necessarily. Yeah, go ahead.
just that in that when the circumstances match each person as they go through the chart, it's like this will be the year the snake will give you energy during a
Yes,
certain
yes,
month because it'll match
yes,
something in your
yes,
chart for that month. Like
yes, yes,
home is going to be important that month, and you're in
yes,
home, and the snake will say, "Hey, let's hook you up."
yes, 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 yes. Now there's a whole nother whole nother layer of information about the animals that's a lot more in depth. This is very surface information. It's general for everyone. Um, but the layer underneath this that's a lot more in depth goes into information about well, I don't know how to say that. Different aspects that are, we'll say, auxiliary aspects that can impact the animals, and each one of them are impacted differently from each of the aspects. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Are you kind of referring to the I Ching?
No, I'm
Oh, okay.
referring to the auxiliary energy that comes is very similar but very different than um, the nine um, qua
Oh, the nine squares
divisions.
of the
Yep.
feng shui
Yes.
chart, right?
Yep. It's similar but different. It's an auxiliary energy that comes in and affects each of the animals differently, and each one is different. Each energy is different.
Huh. Is that the thing you said that begins with a Z, I think, or I can't remember.
Uh,
Bosni? No, not that.
yeah, it is. It's the
Oh,
Bosnia.
okay. Got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it is an aspect of it. It is,
Mm.
you can find the information on the charts with the Bosnia, but it is actually going deeper than that to understand the auxiliary energy that affects each of the animals. Yeah, yeah, because
Mm.
because we're born in a year, we are that animal. But then, of course, as you were stating this on another plane, you also have the month, the day, and the hour that you are born, also very much like what we know of as the Western astrology. Um, it is what you would call the Eastern astrology, the Chinese astrology. So that Chinese astrology, this set of energy, auxiliary energy comes in, and there are like 60 different auxiliary aspects that, uh, and they don't represent double. They are only represented as themselves when they come in, and they come into each animal differently. So it affects each animal differently. Did I explain that very
Mm.
well?
Well, yeah, there's different aspects. So you're going to break it down from the year, the month, the day, and the hour. And It's complicated. Yeah.
It gets complicated. That's exactly right. It's just like having someone to do someone's chart in the Western astrology. It gets real complicated fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
It,
every go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you know what year it is in the Chinese astrological year? Like what year it is?
Um,
Is it
I'm not
something like
sure I understand.
4,000 and something or other since they
Oh,
started
oh,
to record the time?
yeah. No, I'm not versed in that
Oh, okay.
right now. Yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
though. That's a great question. I'll go find
Um,
the answer out.
I know there's also the pillars. So that was the different pillars, the month, the year.
Yes,
Very good.
that's right. Those are the different pillars.
Okay.
That's right.
But
Yeah,
for everyone is different. It's very, very complex. I guess
it is.
it's interesting because all we know is you go to the Chinese restaurant and then they have the little thing on the table and you just knew I'm the year of the dragon. Like
That's it. Yeah,
that's all
yeah.
we knew.
That's right. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, there's so much more past that. That's
Hmm.
just the surface. Yeah.
So,
So go ahead, Terry.
well, I don't know. I may be jumping. I was just going to ask you about when you do feng shui for people. How do you, if I was going to say, okay, I want to just figure out where I am, how would you, like if somebody would come to you and say, well, I'm not sure what I need. Maybe I want to know about this or that. How would you approach, how would you start off working with someone?
Don't say anything because I'm about to say this. So you said I might be jumping, and not that you are, but I think it's funny because I was going to say, "What's your ideal client?" And I think we're saying the same thing at the exact same time. We're about to ask the same question. It's just mind blowing, but we're both Libras.
Yeah.
So the first thing that when I work with a client that I find out or that is important, it is, of course, the year, their birthday, and what that gives me is information about them personally, um, and it also gives me information about their animal, um, because they're just as I'm sure everyone has enjoyed listening to all of the animals. Well, there's another side of feng shui. There's so many different levels of feng shui that it's very interesting and lovely to learn. Um, but this other side is more personal, and it gives me information about, um, well, your personal being. That so. Yeah, I can tell you different things about yourself based on just those two things, the animal and your personal information. So that's the first thing I find out. Then the second thing is the direction of your front door to your home, because your home is the physical expression of your energy, because everything in our home affects us um, in our bodies, and everything in us affects our home. So I find the direction of your door, your front door, and with that I can, and when you moved into your house also is very helpful. I then, with that information, can tell you pretty much anything.
But it's based on us personally. Like you take our personal information and then apply the information about the house.
Well, um,
Just like say my house, I know mine is south because I went ahead and mapped this thing out. And my front door is south, even though I was like, oh no. Like I didn't think that was supposed to be.
so I want to tell you, my I'm making a note. Uh, my my energy is um, similar to yours, Erika.
Mm-hmm.
slightly different, but similar. And my front door is an east, which is not one of my good directions, which south is not one of your good directions.
Right.
Okay? So see, you've given me your year that you were born, so I know your good directions. I know your animal,
Right. That's right.
and now you've given me the direction of your front door. And if you told me when you moved in, I can pull a chart and I can tell you almost everything about your life.
Mm, 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 mm.
So, there's a lot of power in knowing this because when I share it with my client, now that's not doing a proper plan, that's just me giving them information. It tells you how to make, well, it tells you where to make good decisions. It tells you where your power, where when you sit in the most powerful place of your home, you make powerful decisions. Um,
Ah,
so, so you follow me?
yes. I'm so
So I
intrigued
can
right
also tell
now.
you
I'm just
where,
like, yeah.
yeah. I can also tell you where, when you sit in this particular direction, how it's not supporting you and actually making it more challenging for you to do what you want to do. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. But of course, I'd need more than just the south front door. I'd have to have the actual direction, the degree on your compass, because I have, there are, this is, I'm probably giving too much information, but there are three different facets within each of the compass directions. Like south has three facets, the north has three facets, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
So Patricia, what happens when you're in an apartment block? So I'm just going to use just as an example, just for me, it's like I come in my door, but my window faces a different direction, and that's where the balcony is, and that's what I always look at as my front room because that's where the biggest window is, where my door is at the back there. So how do you view that? Would you view your front door as like the balcony, or would you look your front door as the way that you enter into the apartment?
It would be the way you enter into your apartment every day.
Oh, okay.
How do you enter your apartment? Through the building?
Through Yeah,
Is that
through
how
the
you?
building. It's through the hallway, and it's. I'm trying to think.
Uh-huh.
Is and I think it faces east. My window faces south. I'm facing south here, but do I come? So yeah, it would be the east that I come in.
The east.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the first rule of thumb in Feng Shui is to always face your door to in your room. Like if you're in a room, you don't put your back to that door.
Mm-hmm.
You always
Right.
face it. And that's the first. Um, that's the first rule of thumb in Feng Shui.
I think
Seeing the door.
it challenges a lot of, without going into quite often our buildings are built and they're not really conducive to trying to work with your feng shui because like your for example, one of your main areas might be, and you've got a great big window in it, or else you've got a wall in it, and or else you don't have enough of a wall to put any kind of, like this is where I can only put myself because that's the only wall I have. So we end up having to work around the challenges that we have with Feng Shui. And I know that there's all kinds of remedies we can use with mirrors, with plants, and that sort of thing. But it becomes a challenge if you pick up a book to say. That's why it's important to work with a master like you, because you pick up a book on Feng Shui and say, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What do you mean I'm supposed to have a lamp in this corner? How can there's nowhere to put a lamp, So it's important to work with someone who understands that flow of energy, who can look at the challenges you may have so that you can remedy them.
I know,
Yeah,
and I'm
I
looking
know. I
down, but I'm
know.
sitting here looking at when I move because I'm like, ooh, I gotta find the date. But yeah, apartments are a challenge. I live in a duplex. That's a challenge, because I'm wondering, is it like, do both the doors affect me? Like, does their door affect me too?
No, well, their door doesn't affect you, but all the energy that if you're living next to someone, whether you're in a duplex or an apartment complex, um, all the energy, and it happens in, the houses that are next door to us also. If
Mhm.
someone doesn't have their home, um, neat and tidy, we'll just say, um, that energy does affect us because
Mm,
we're in the aura field of that apartment or that house.
yeah.
But there's not anything you can do as far as, I mean, there are fixes, there are cures for, that kind of situation.
I put the
Um,
dogs outside my door. I forgot, what do you call them? What do you call the little dogs, Terry? Oh,
food dog,
yeah, I put the food dogs
food dog.
outside my front door.
Mm,
I got some statues out there.
yeah.
I have two of
Yeah.
them, but I've got these.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, so I've got
That's
two of
very
those.
beautiful. Love the colors.
Yeah, they're very vibrant.
I love them.
That's very special. I know you must have gotten those when you were there.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. So
Well,
as far
so
as the
yeah.
window,
Hmm.
I just want to give Terry some help because as you can see, there's a window behind me, but I have a curtain behind me that covers
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's okay to sit in front of a window that has a curtain on it like this, as long as
Mm-hmm.
you're watching the door that room is in,
Yeah.
that door
My
is
my
in. I mean,
window's off to where I'm sitting. The window's off to the left, and my doors are to the right. So
uh-huh, uh-huh.
I'm facing the southwest.
Okay. All right. So anytime you can see the door, because what that does is it allows you to see who's coming in the door. So you're protecting your back, right? Yeah, and you're also seeing all the goodness that's coming in that door for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. So Andy is asking for your website, Patricia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh yes,
I was
yes.
gonna
It,
show definitely that Patricia on here, and then so that's the Facebooks if you want to find her. But
thank you so much,
we'll go ahead
Erika.
and type the website in for you.
It's www.patriciawhite.com.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, yeah. And the Instagram and Facebook is, and I believe LinkedIn is Patricia Whyte Feng Shui.
Oh, got me caught with the Feng Shui. Over this time, I've learned how to spell Feng Shui from
Uh,
repeated spelling it
yeah,
wrong.
Feng. There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I got it now. It took me a
Yeah.
couple of years because I think I'm a little dyslexic, but
Well, you're in good company, Erica. I am as well.
right.
That's beautiful.
All right.
And I have a whole bunch of free things over there on my website too. You
Yeah.
can play, you can go find, I have a couple of books, ebooks that you can download for free. I have a 30-minute discovery session you can book if you want to sit down and talk with me. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you.
I'm pumped. I've been busy and I've had like some working in the daytime and working in the evening time, but I plan on hanging out with you next week, or if you have time on the books in the next couple of weeks. Because
Yeah,
I think I nailed it down my moving date. So I'm like, do you need the exact date?
good.
Is that like a birthday?
I just need within a good guess of time, like
Mhm.
um, so. There are a couple of ways I can go about, but knowing the year would be important.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because in Florida, it's hard to tell what month it is because it could be warm any day. You know, that's like you
How
can't say.
fortunate.
I remember it was the winter. I can't really say.
That's a lovely, that's really lovely to have that kind of
Good problems to
experience
have, right?
too.
Good
Yeah,
problems. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Terry, on the other hand, it would be very cold, I think, all the
Well, today
time
it's yeah,
where
today we're starting to get that change of season now. So it was cold. We have really cold weather, and it's starting to get milder now, and so it's around 30 degrees here right now, Fahrenheit.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you'd remember if you moved in
Oh,
the winter. That's
I
the
know
thing.
exactly when I moved. I moved in. I moved. I was moving between apartments, but I moved here on an August 1st was when I moved here.
In August. Okay. Yeah. Me, I don't remember. I remember there was lots of sun. That's all I remember. And I don't really remember. Could have been any day. Could have
Could
been
have been any day.
December. And I
Yeah.
still wouldn't know. So,
Oh, that's
well,
lovely.
it was great hanging out with you. I am definitely intrigued and want to learn
Yeah.
more. Yes. And oh man, I'm really excited. I'm so grateful to Asha for introducing us. And well, there was an interesting fact about you. You participated in a museum or an art gallery, or you
Oh, yes. When I
had
lived in
experience with that.
Australia, I had an art gallery. I'm an artist. Yeah.
Oh, you
So,
are an artist as
yeah.
well.
Yeah. So I've funneled all that artistic expression into feng shui. That's what I tell everyone.
That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You must
Yeah.
have had a really great gallery. So,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm very fortunate. I tell everyone I think all of Australia came through our gallery at some point in the time that we had it, and we had it for about 10 years. So, because a lot of people go from Sydney down to Melbourne, or they would come to the beach, and we were right there, next to the beach, and so they would stop in this small little community and take a break from driving and get something to drink and maybe something to eat and go to the restroom. And so they would come in and view the artworks and the furniture, because we had furniture as well, in the gallery. And it was a lot of fun visiting with all these beautiful people, and just over years and years and years getting to know all of these beautiful people is great.
mm,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, you all, LOL, I keep misspelling feng shui, feng shui, shui. I'm glad you got to hang out with us, Sandy. And we got lots of comments from you yesterday. And I really appreciate you always hanging out with us. Monique, Andy, Jermaine, Allie was out there, Jeremy, anybody we missed. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And I really appreciate you, Patricia, and look forward to that hanging out next week. And I don't know, Terri, did you learn anything new?
Yes, I did. I learned lots of new. I always learn something new. And Patricia's a wonderful teacher. I like you're so so genuine.
Yeah.
And it's just you're so calming, and it's so lovely being in your presence, and you know, like you've given us so much to think about, you know, like the way that the animals move through the zodiac, but knowing that, I mean, I always learn something, but I didn't know that. I mean, I knew quite a bit of stuff, but I didn't know that. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful. Thank you both for everything, and I've just enjoyed being with you and all your viewers, and just isn't she beautiful?
Here goes your sister. I really think you look like Dolly Parton. Oh my God, I really do, Patricia.
Yeah, maybe.
All you need is the wig.
Maybe our faces similarly. Here, let me see if I can turn it that way. Yeah. Maybe our faces similarly shaped.
Yeah.
This one right here with the whiter hair. Yeah, I can totally see it. So for the next Halloween or dress up party, we got to get you out there. How tall are you?
5'2", and I think we probably have a similar shape as well.
Oh, she's 5 foot. She was 5 foot. Interesting.
5 foot. Wow.
Yeah. So you're even taller than her. You could go and intimidate Dolly Parton if you.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
Working 9 to 5. Oh my God, I did love that movie and that song.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Girl,
we're telling our age.
Don't break out the rat poison. And then you are a rat too, Andy. And she went Oh my God, they said she was on the news today.
Yeah, her husband passed away, right?
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Someone said they remind me of Prince from Purple Rain, and right now there's a Prince musical going on right now. It was like all of a sudden everything to do with Prince kept popping up. Yeah. Wow. Synchronicities. Gotta love them.
Yeah.
So you guys, I thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm not going to say goodbye again. I'm just going to hit the button, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to get flued out. So
thanks, Patricia.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Patricia, don't go anywhere yet. Okay.